A number of people, you may be one of them, are caught up in a situation where they feel they have tried everything to get out of an untenable situation and move to comfort or improvement or a breakthrough. If you are one of those people, you are in the right company, because this video is for you. I have been in that situation where I would tell myself that I have tried everything. Remember, I said I would tell myself that I have tried everything. However, I am suggesting that if you are one of those people who are in that situation where you are despondent because you've tried everything, that is not the reality of the situation. I'll tell you why. Stay until the end of this video. I'm Linda. I've been in that situation where I believed that I had tried everything to improve a certain situation or my circumstances. So that is why I am suggesting that when you are entertaining the thoughts that you have tried everything, ask yourself, who is saying that? Who is saying, I have tried everything? Who is I? It is important because that question will lead you to a simple understanding that our mind can be very tricky. It does its job to churn millions of thoughts, but they are just thoughts. They are not you and I. That is the essence, the self. We are observers of these rolling thoughts. Some of them are helpful, others are not helpful because they limit us. So, in this video, as I've indicated, stay until the end. I learned when I was in a difficult situation, I learned to observe my thoughts. I learned that when I was tense, anxious, and panicking, I made the situation worse. And that is why I would like us to move step by step so that you then begin not to police your thoughts, just to observe and be comfortable. So, how did I get out of that situation? Particularly because I would also like you to get out of that situation. I jotted down things that I wanted to do every morning. I called it a personal challenge for myself. I jotted it down that when I wake up, I am going to be still. I'm going to be quiet. I'm not going to dive into my laptop and check my messages, that I will just remain still. I also jotted down that when I am quiet in the morning, just for 30 minutes, I will remind myself to be grateful that I was just breathing. That I would remind myself just to observe my feelings, to feel my feelings. If there are feelings of discomfort, I would just change and think something that would make me comfortable. And what became very interesting was that I learned that the mornings were very good for me to plan in a very quiet way, to plan my day, and my day improved. It was one step at a time. Early reminders, observing my thoughts, feeling my feelings. If there was discomfort, I would change and remind myself about something that is good that I was looking forward to. One thing led to another. I then reminded myself that it was very important for me to recover fully and just enjoy taking a walk. I started with just 15 minutes. It became 30 minutes walk, and it's now 1 hour. And then I even started jogging, and I celebrated that. I celebrated the fact that I was healthy after having been limited. So that is why I am suggesting, and I cannot underestimate how important it is to start the day on a positive note, consciously. And as time goes on, the whole process, I call it this morning beautiful ritual, is assimilated in you, and you just find yourself doing it without any prompting. It becomes part of you, and your mind gradually improves. Even the thoughts, you find yourself thinking pleasant thoughts, being light. Obviously, when there are certain thoughts of anxiety, when they start creeping in, you don't pay any notice, and you carry on doing what is uplifting to you. So when the thought or the story that you tell yourself that you've tried everything, I say no, you have not tried everything. And there is nobody who tries everything when there is a challenge, because there comes a time when you just give up and you resign into a situation, and bingo, answers or solutions just come for a very reason, because you are relaxed. Your mind is no longer playing tricks. You are so relaxed and open and expansive that something beautiful just comes in. It flows. And when that happens, as it happened to me, at one stage I thought it was a coincidence. But I have learned that when I am relaxed, I am not tense, even if something has been exercising my mind, unawares, out of the blue, something happens, a thought, even if it is just one word or a quiet thought, comes to my mind, and that's it. I've learned to be obedient when that happens. I jot it down or I just take action, because tension blocks, it restricts us. We don't expand, we don't open up, because when it comes to understanding who we live inside ourselves. Modern life has taught us to be very outward looking, but that is why I think we are very unhappy, because what is playing out outside is just not conducive to peace, stability, love, joy. It's not. to crown it all, what is outside there is contrary, it is counter to our inner nature of peace, of love, of joy, of happiness, of compassion. Briefly, we are spirit beings. We live inside ourselves and we are quite solid when shrapnel is outside and there is destabilization. There are all sorts of things flying that take us off balance if we pay attention. So I am suggesting that as a gift from what I experienced, let us mind our thoughts and let the thoughts just go by if they do not serve how we want to feel. Very important, how we want to feel about any situation. That helped me a lot. It helped me to such an extent that I was reminded of the precious lessons that I learned even in difficult situations. I was reminded of the people who made it possible for me to succeed. I was reminded of the doors that life opened to me without me trying, and I became grateful for that. Even today, I am grateful when I look back. I look back at the lessons that appeared to be quite heavy, and then I say, I'm glad I went through that. The people who appeared to be harsh, and then I say, I'm glad that was character building. Or I am grateful my life crossed with those people because they were good people, like Nelson Mandela, for instance, who became my mentor for years. The doors that were opened when I won scholarships and I didn't pay for my university fees. That is something that happens when I am relaxed and I am grateful and I look back and start joining the dots, and I realize that, and for you, please listen, you are not a victim of life. I learned that I was not a victim of life. I learned to be grateful. I learned to have this passion to want to share to such an extent that I am now publishing ebooks for my coaching programs, something that was unthinkable, but there is something that is burning in me. I want these experiences out to encourage and enrich your life so that you move from ground zero to right at the top where you want to be. I hope that this sharing is going to encourage you that there is nothing like trying everything. The best you can do is to not to try and just relax and let solutions and answers come. Do remember to press the like button. Also press that little bell so that you are reminded when there is another video. Subscribe and share with friends. After all, we have become a global community and we face more or less the same challenges. The details may differ, but the challenges are there. And as we continue to share, let us be grateful and open ourselves to the expansive universe loaded with answers. Thank you very much for your time.